Welcome to the deep dive. We've got an absolutely extraordinary set of sources in front of us today. They chronicle a period of history that was just so intense, so full of these world-altering choices and really profound personal tragedies.
It's a history that completely tore down the established order.
It really did. And we need to be clear about our mission here. We are treating this as a literal, factual account of what happened.
Absolutely. This is all about total immersion. We're not here to interpret literary themes or anything like that. We're going to live, moment by moment through the collapse of this world.
And really analyze the often agonizing and desperate actions of the people who are caught right at the center of it all.
That's it. This isn't just a clash of magic. It's this raw emotional struggle where every relationship, every single secret, and every act of defiance or weakness is just violently laid bare.
So let's begin where the darkness really started to consolidate its power. At a place called Malfoy Manor, our historical record opens on this really chilling scene. You have two figures who just appear out of nowhere.
In a narrow, moonlit lane, and the first thing they do is raise their wands at each other.
Instantly. It's a signal right away that trust is completely non-existent. Caution is like a reflex.
And these two men, we learn, are Severus Snape and Yaxley. The tension is just a perfect snapshot of the climate of paranoia at the time.
They're both on the same side, technically. They're agents of the Dark Lord. But they hesitate. They're ready to strike before they even confirm who the other person is.
And Snape, he's described as the taller one, and he just carries this undeniable air of seniority. Maybe it comes from a deeper knowledge of the Dark Lord's plans, or maybe it's just a more practiced secrecy.
Yaxley is the opposite, isn't he? He's blunt-featured, and he's almost eager to please. He offers up his contribution right away. News. The best.
And Snape's reaction is so telling. He just nods. Doesn't elaborate, doesn't ask for details. It suggests that whatever Yaxley thinks is his best news is, well, probably just a footnote to whatever Snape already knows.
They move quickly from there to Malfoy Manor. And the setting itself, it's this visual paradox that immediately tells you everything about the Malfoy family's status.
It really does. You have these wild, sort of untamed brambles that suddenly give way to these high, perfectly manicured hedges. It speaks to this veneer of ancient civility that's just draped over something morally savage.
And the entrance itself is a salute to power. These imposing wrought iron gates, they're clearly meant to keep people out.
But for them, it's like passing through smoke. They just walk straight through, which emphasizes their status, right? The fortress recognizes them, it recognizes the dark mark, and it just yields.
Once they're inside the grounds, we get that incredible detail about the peacock.
The pure white peacock, yes. Just strutting along the hedge.
And Yaxley's immediate reaction is just a snort. He says something about Lucius Malfoy always doing himself well, specifically mentioning the peacocks.
That isn't admiration. It's pure, naked class jealousy. It's scorn. It reveals these deep resentments that exist even among Voldemort's most loyal followers.
Absolutely. They might share an allegiance, but those old social hierarchies and the bitterness that comes with them, they haven't just vanished.
Not at all. And the manor itself grew out of the darkness, and the front door swings open on its own. No servant, no greeting. The power inside is just. It's all-consuming.
The conversation inside cuts right to strategy. The main objective is the total seizure of the Ministry of Magic.
And they name their target, Thickness, which indicates they've successfully used mind control or some kind of leverage over a key official. The timeline is incredibly aggressive, too.
Before next Saturday. That urgency is directly tied to Harry Potter. They know the protective charm where he's staying is about to break.
And they have to get him while he's traveling. They openly acknowledge the disadvantage they'll have if he actually reaches his destination. The pressure is immense.
And Yaxley, who is just so desperate to prove his worth, he details all the agents he's placed inside the Department of Magical Transport.
Specifically targeting Apparition and the Flu Network. They're compromising every magical escape route. It shows how ruthlessly comprehensive this whole operation is. They are not leaving escape to chance.
But just as they're deep in this high strategy, the entire discussion is violently interrupted.
By a sound from below. A sudden, terrible wail of misery.
It's so chilling because of the contrast. You have Voldemort discussing world domination, and then you're reminded that right beneath their feet, someone is being brutally tortured.
And Voldemort's reaction, or lack of one, is what makes it so horrifying. He doesn't get angry, he doesn't panic, he just calmly addresses the interruption, thoughtfully, without even looking away from the ceiling.
His lack of immediate concern just amplifies the horror, and the servant he sends to deal with it is Wormtail.
Described as a small man, scurrying out and leaving behind a curious gleam of silver. That's his prosthetic hand, isn't it?
It is a physical, visible reminder of his debt to Voldemort, a constant marker of his complete and total subservience. He is trapped by his own cowardice.
And the scene culminates in just the ultimate demonstration of dominance over the Malfoy family. Voldemort needs a wand to kill Harry Potter.
He announces he needs to borrow a wand from one of you, and then he singles out Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius, who's already described as looking yellowish and waxy with these sunken, shadowed eyes, is just visibly reduced to terror. His reply, "My lord," it's just pathetic.
Because a wand isn't just a tool for these people. It's a source of identity, of power. To surrender it is to surrender your very self, your dignity.
And the fact that he can't hand it over immediately, that he makes this desperate glance sideways at his wife, Narcissa, it confirms their shared terror.
And Narcissa is just as pale, staring straight ahead. She can't meet his eyes. She can't offer any comfort. Their allegiance has cost them everything. They've gone from privileged royalty to pathetic slaves, united only by this paralyzing fear.
That fear is a much stronger chain than any loyalty they ever had.
So we shift, and it's an abrupt shift from that suffocating dread at Malfoy Manor to Harry, who's facing a very different kind of darkness. It's the unraveling legend of his protector, Albus Dumbledore.
He's rereading an article written by Dumbledore's old friend, Alpheus Doge.
And it's a defensive piece, really. It's designed to reframe Dumbledore as an outsider from the start, a man burdened by this unwanted, notorious family history.
Doge details how Dumbledore's father, Percival, was convicted for a savage attack on 3 young muggles, and that he died in Azkaban. This is the seed of the scandal that Dumbledore had to carry his entire life.
The article also addresses that persistent accusation that Dumbledore was a Muggle hater.
And Doge is very explicit. He says Dumbledore denied those claims and in fact gained many enemies over the years, specifically because he was so determined to support Muggle rights. He was positioned as an advocate right from the start against the old guard.
We also learn about the tragedy that really shifted his life's path, the death of his mother, Kendra.
It forced him to abandon a world tour he'd planned with Doge. He became the sole breadwinner for his younger siblings. So this narrative presents him as a man of profound duty, whose grand ambitions were put on hold by the crushing weight of family obligation. It really humanizes him.
But now this counter-narrative is ready to strike. A forthcoming exposé by Rita Skeeter called Dumbledore the Truth at Last.
And Skeeter's promising a total dismantling of that serene, silver-bearded image Harry knew.
She's going for the throat, isn't she? Highlighting a disturbed childhood, the lawless youth, the lifelong feuds, and the guilty secrets.
And she tries to make the known scandals, like Aberforth's incident with the goats, seem trivial. She dismisses it as just the tip of the dung heap, implying there are much darker secrets lurking underneath.
It's not just his moral character she attacks. She tries to delegitimize his genius.
Right, she cites this Ivor Dillonsby, who claims Dumbledore borrowed his research on the uses of dragon's blood. It's a calculated move to undermine his reputation as an original thinker, to reduce him to a plagiarist.
And the most dangerous bombshell is about the famous duel with Grindelwald.
Skeeter suggests there was no epic confrontation. She implies a quick surrender, maybe even a strategic one. She says people might conclude Grindelwald just conjured a white handkerchief from the end of his wand and came quietly.
Which throws profound doubt not just on Dumbledore's power, but his courage when facing a dark threat from his own past. Harry's now forced to grapple with this possibility that the man who guarded him was a deeply compromised, maybe even deceitful figure.
And as Harry is grappling with this, the personal stakes just explode back at Privet Drive. He returns to find Uncle Vernon pacing, absolutely determined to stay.
He's just dismissing the entire magical world as claptrap. It's an act of profound denial, just clinging desperately to his Muggle normality.
And Harry uses just pure, cold, psychological warfare against him. He immediately rejects this delusion that he might actually want their house.
He hits him with that line, all the happy memories.
And that one line just instantly silences Vernon. It exposes the utter emptiness of the family relationships in that home.
Then he lays out the facts, the unavoidable facts, as explained by Kingsley and Mr. Weasley. The protection, anchored by Petunia's connection to Lily, breaks when Harry turns 17.
This immediately exposes the Dursleys to Voldemort, who would use them for leverage or as bait.
And in a moment of really rare human connection, Uncle Vernon and Harry's eyes meet, and they share this fleeting mutual realization. It's the terrifying, paralyzing fear of Voldemort's power. Vernon finally understands the real-world consequence of magic.
And it's Dudley who breaks the silence with a terrified question. There are more of them.
Harry confirms the chilling reality. Hundreds, maybe thousands of Death Eaters, Dementors in Fairy will soon be able to find them.
And this threat instantly jogs this profound, distant memory in the house. The memory of Hagrid smashing down their front door all those years ago. It's a physical, undeniable reminder of wizarding force that they cannot resist.
But even with this horrific realization, Uncle Vernon's final concerns are just shockingly self-centered. His job, Dudley School.
The minor priorities of the Muggle world clashing so tragically with the apocalyptic stakes of the Wizarding War.
But that contrast is what makes Dudley's next action so powerful and so unexpected. After this painful internal struggle, he asks, but where's he gonna go?
He's worried about Harry's destination. It's this shocking moment of human empathy that's so confusing and painful for the Dursleys that it actually frightens his parents for a second.
And the Order's representatives, Daedalus Diggle and Hestia Jones, are just utterly baffled by this profound indifference.
Hestia is outraged they don't even know where Harry is going. It just reflects the wizarding community's expectation of basic family care that the Dursleys completely fail to provide. And so they leave, still self-absorbed, while Harry prepares for war.
The shift from the Dursleys' quiet apathy to the arrival of the Order of the Phoenix is instantaneous. It's jarring. It signals the end of any pretense of peace.
A sudden, deafening roar erupts outside the kitchen. Figures just materialize as these disillusionment charms lift.
It's a scene of high operational readiness and immense magical chaos. Hagrid is just dominating the scene on his massive motorbike. Others are dismounting from brooms and these skeletal black-winged thestrals.
And for Harry, this is profoundly emotional. He feels his heart expand and glow, this incredible fondness for every single person there.
Even Mundungus Fletcher, the thief.
Even Mundungus, because this gathering represents the only true family he has ever known. It's a profound source of strength before this impending conflict.
Let's look at who's there. You've got the core fighting force. Ron, Hermione, Fred, George, the Scarred Bill, Mr. Weasley, Mad-Eye Moody.
Conks, a very weary-looking Lupin, Fleur, Kingsley, Hagrid, and, of course, Mundungus. This group knows they're being hunted, and they are preparing for a direct, violent confrontation.
Updates are swift. Kingsley, who was guarding the Muggle Prime Minister, confirms he was relieved of his duties because Harry is the single most important target.
And then there's that tiny but vital moment of normalcy. Tonks wiggles her left hand, revealing a ring.
She and Lupin got married. Very quiet ceremony. It's just a brief, genuine moment of joy against this looming darkness.
Mad-Eye takes charge immediately, explaining why they have to break the protective charm early before Harry turns 17 to stop Voldemort from just waiting them out.
The strategy is to use a dozen protected safe houses, all linked to the Order, while creating this major diversion to confuse the enemy.
And the heart of that confusion is the Polyjuice potion strategy. 6 others, Ron, Hermione, Fred, George, Fleur, and Mundungus, will drink the potion to create 7 identical Harrys.
The magical effect is surreal. They instantly mirror Harry's appearance right down to his terrible eyesight. Hermione has to put on his glasses.
This physical sacrifice, willingly undertaken by 6 people, it just underscores their absolute commitment to protecting Harry, not just as a mission, but as a person.
Moody assigns the pairings with ruthless military logic. Mundungus, the least trustworthy, is paired with Moody himself.
Because you're the one that needs watching.
Exactly. Bill takes Fleur on a thestral, and the tension is broken for a second by Fred and George's classic joke, confusing Moody about which twin is which.
And Moody just swiftly shuts them down. No time for games.
The escape is violent and immediate. Harry's with Hagrid in the sidecar. Hagrid accelerates with a thunderous roar, and the pursuit begins instantly. They were waiting for them.
And the first tragedy strikes with brutal speed. Hedwig's loss.
A green killing curse flashes and her cage just explodes. Harry screams at Hagrid to turn around. He can't accept it.
But there's no time. 4 Death Eaters are on them, forcing Harry to fire stunning spells.
So Hagrid executes this desperate, almost suicidal maneuver. He slams a purple button on the dashboard.
And white-hot dragon fire bursts from the exhaust, propelling the bike forward like a bullet. The sidecar's connection splinters from the force, leaving Harry just hanging on.
The stakes spiral into this moral dilemma. A Death Eater's hood slips, and it's Stanley Shunpike. Stan, the night bus conductor.
And Harry freezes. He shouts, "No!" He refuses to attack Stan, convinced he's under the imperious curse that he's being controlled.
This is the moment Harry's moral code just clashes violently with the reality of war. Lupin later explicitly condemns this hesitation.
He says, "Harry, the time for disarming is past. These people are trying to capture and kill you.
But Harry defends his actions, citing the height, Stan's compromised status. He's clinging to the idea that his enemies might not be acting of their own free will.
In the chaos, Hagrid launches himself off the bike at another Death Eater, and they both just plummet out of sight. Harry's left alone.
And then Voldemort arrives. Harry hears that high, cold scream, "Mine!" followed by Avada.
But just before the curse hits, his wand, his Holly and Phoenix wand, acts on its own. It protects him, showing this deep, mysterious connection that goes beyond his conscious will.
He arrives, barely alive, at the home of Ted and Andromeda Tonks. Hagrid pulls him into a hug that nearly cracks his ribs. He survived by falling into a garden.
The house itself presents this psychological challenge. Mrs. Tonks is the mirror image of her sister, Bellatrix Lestrange, a chilling reminder of the enemy.
And Lupin, ever the cautious tactician, verifies Harry's identity, confirming the potion only works on humans, which spares Hagrid the test.
Then they begin the agonizing process of tallying the cost. Only Kingsley, Lupin, George, Hagrid, and Harry have returned. Hermione is just silently terrified for Ron.
Kingsley confirms 5 Death Eaters pursued them. Voldemort joined the chase but vanished the instant he realized Harry was with Hagrid. Harry was the only prize.
And the casualties are already confusing the defenders. Kingsley reports that Stan, Shunpike, and Travers were among the Death Eaters,
Which suggests a mass breakout which the Ministry has hushed up. The enemy's resources are expanding rapidly and stealthily.
George's injury is revealed. He's lost an ear. But his immediate response isn't panic. It's this dark, morbid humor to comfort his distraught mother.
"I'm holy. Holy Fred, get it?" And then he says, "You'll be able to tell us apart now anyway, Mum."
It's a crucial moment. It shows the Weasley family's deep-seated coping mechanism humor in the face of absolute horror.
But the coping mechanisms fail when the final, crushing news arrives. It's Bill. Mad Eye's dead.
And just silence. Harry feels something inside him falling forever. This profound, gut-wrenching grief. Mad-Eye Moody, the paranoid, battle-scarred cornerstone of their defense, is the first major casualty of this escalation.
They mourn him with a silent, somber ritual. Bill pours fire whiskey, 12 full glasses plus 1 held aloft, and they silently toast Mad-Eye. The drink might sear Harry's throat, but it can't touch the deeper pain of this loss.
The crushing weight of Mad-Eye's death just hangs heavy over the burrow. Harry is consumed by guilt, by grief, and he's eager to start the mission, the Horcrux hunt. He thinks action is the only thing that can help.
And Ron provides that pragmatic check. Harry is still under the trace until he turns 17, but he agrees they have to plan, showing his unconditional commitment.
Ron prepares his room for the wedding guests, including Fleur's younger sister, Gabrielle. Hermione's weeping openly over Mad-Eye.
And Ron's comfort of her is so tender, so genuine. He says Mad-Eye would want them to learn from what happened to him.
Then Ron reveals the depth of his strategic sacrifice. He takes Harry to the attic to show him this ghoul in pajamas, made to look exactly like him, sick with spattergrolt.
It's a profound, self-sacrificial step. He's done this to ensure that when the authorities inevitably interrogate his family, they won't realize he's disappeared with Harry on a potentially lethal mission. He has effectively erased himself to protect his family.
Meanwhile, Hermione reveals her own calculated, rule-breaking commitment. She confesses that after Dumbledore died, she broke into his office.
To retrieve books on dark arts and Horcruxes, books Dumbledore himself had removed from the library.
She defends it so desperately, it wasn't stealing. Her willingness to violate the rules for the sake of the mission just shows how fundamentally the war has changed her priorities.
They discuss the magical mechanics of destruction. They confirm basilisk venom is effective, but they don't have any.
And they confirm a crucial piece of Horcrux lore. Physical damage alone is not enough. The object has to be damaged beyond any magical repair. This sets an impossible standard for the journey ahead.
Harry's 17th birthday arrives. The trace is gone, but it's not a celebration. Hagrid brings a giant cake. Harry gets a new sneakoscope, an enchanted razor.
And this brief moment of peace is shattered by the arrival of Rufus Scrimgeour, the Minister of Magic, with Dumbledore's will.
Scrimgeour's aggressive demeanor just confirms the Ministry views them with intense suspicion. He's using the will as an excuse for an official interrogation.
He aggressively questions Ron, who admits he was not very close to Dumbledore, a comment Scrimgeour immediately uses against him. Harry gets the golden snitch he caught in his first game.
And Hermione receives the tales of Beetle the Bard written in runes.
The items are mysterious. They suggest Dumbledore anticipated the Ministry confiscating and examining the will. Ron gets the Deluminator, and he demonstrates it, putting out and restoring the lights.
And Harry feels the snitch quicken in his hand, but he refuses to open it in front of Scrimgeour, confirming his suspicion that these objects contain hidden instructions only they can decipher.
The wedding of Bill and Fleur provides a final, beautiful interlude. Fleur, in a simple white dress, emits this strong, silvery glow that seems to soften reality, just for a moment.
But that illusion of peace is disturbed very quickly. Victor Crumb spots Xenophilius Lovegood wearing a strange symbol, a triangular eye.
And he immediately identifies it as Grindelwald's sign, the symbol of the dark wizard Dumbledore defeated. Crumb is so disturbed he says he wants to duel him on the spot. It links the wedding guests to Dumbledore's dark political past.
And Auntie Muriel adds her own poison, criticizing Doge's defense and revealing secrets about Dumbledore's unstable sister, Ariana.
She suspects that Bathilda Bagshot, an old friend of Dumbledore's mother, has spilled the beans to Rita Skeeter. So the image of Dumbledore is being systematically destroyed piece by piece, even in the middle of a wedding.
And then the celebration ends violently. Kingsley's Patronus, the Lynx, arrives with that chilling, amplified warning. The Ministry has fallen. The Minister is dead. They are coming.
The attack is immediate. Harry, Ron, and Hermione flee, disapparating to Tottenham Court Road.
And they are tracked instantly. Two burly workmen, Death Eaters, draw their wands. Ron saves Hermione from a blast.
Harry, invisible, yells stupefy. And they realize the magical confusion. The trace must have been instantly reapplied or overridden by the new hostile ministry the moment Harry turned 17. It's the only logical explanation for being found so fast.
This sudden realization that nowhere is safe forces Harry to choose a refuge. He chooses Grimmauld Place.
He argues that even though Snape has access, Snape is only one Death Eater, and the house is protected by jinxes. He prefers a calculated risk over the random chance of capture.
Inside Grimmauld Place, the tension is immense. They find a booby trap, a body resembling a wasted, dead human that rises and screams, "No, we didn't kill you."
An echo of Sirius's traumatic life and death.
And then it just explodes into dust. But Ron's anxiety is relieved by Mr. Weasley's Patronus.
Family safe, do not reply, we are being watched. The relief is so profound that Ron and Hermione just collapse, clinging to one another.
But Harry doesn't get that relief. His scar flares with overwhelming pain, forcing him into a vision. Voldemort torturing Lucius Malfoy with that high, cold, merciless voice.
Searching the house, Harry finds a torn letter fragment in Lily Potter's handwriting. It's about his first birthday, Bathilda, Pettigrew's visit. It causes this quiet eruption of joy and grief.
Hermione finds the second critical fragment, a note signed RAB, explaining the locket substitution.
And then the aha moment. Harry links RAB to Sirius's brother, Regulus Arcturus Black, a disillusioned Death Eater who had the access and the motivation to try and destroy Voldemort.
They summon the house elf creature. He confirms it all. He details Regulus's final excruciating journey. Regulus forced creature to drink the poison, ordered him to switch the lockets, and then left himself behind to die.
And creature confirmed. He retrieved the real locket, only to have it stolen by Mundungus Fletcher, the most valuable object in the world, sold for petty profit.
Lupin arrives, confirming the Ministry attack. Scrimgeour was tortured and killed, but, crucially, never gave Harry away.
And he shows Harry a Daily Prophet headline painting him as a wanted fugitive. Then comes that moment of profound relational tension.
Lupin, weary and gray, makes this selfish, desperate plea. He offers to join Harry, leaving the newly pregnant Tonks with her parents.
And Harry delivers this harsh but morally necessary judgment. I'm pretty sure my father would have wanted to know why you aren't sticking with your own kid, actually.
It's a brutal truth. Lupin's face drains of color and he flees. Harry is shaking with anger, knowing his words were cruel, but believing it was essential for Lupin to return to his family. He forces his friend to choose family over the mission. 4 intense weeks pass. They're forced to live rough, camping just outside Grimmauld Place. They secretly scout the ministry workers' routine, developing this detailed plan.
It highlights their growing operational maturity. It's a sharp contrast to their previous, more improvised tactics. Ron insists he and Harry should go alone, and Hermione reluctantly accepts.
On the morning of the raid, they execute the plan. Hermione stuns Mafalda Hopkirk, Harry stuns a tall man named Runcorn, and Ron stuns Reg Cattermole.
Harry takes Runcork's form, tall, imposing. Ron becomes the hapless Cattermole.
But the moment they enter, the ministry feels oppressive, sinister, and the plan immediately goes sideways.
Ron as Cattermole is instantly dispatched to magical maintenance to fix this rain problem, leaving Harry and Hermione completely isolated.
On level 1, Harry is confronted with his target immediately. He sees Pious Thickness, the Puppet Minister, and Dolores Umbridge.
And the sickening shock is that Umbridge is openly clutching the locket, the Horcrux. Harry is isolated, feeling his initial plan was laughably childish. He knows he has to retrieve it alone.
Harry, disguised as the feared Runcorn, finds the dark corridor leading to the courtrooms. It's packed with tall, black-hooded Dementors. The air is just heavy with despair.
And Muggleborns are sitting terrified on benches, shielding their faces.
The tribunal is a sickening scene of calculated injustice. Umbridge, radiant in her element, is presiding alongside Yaxley. The prisoner, Mary Cattermole, is accused of stealing her wand.
Harry acts on pure instinct. He uses the Muffliato charm, whispers to Hermione, then uses Confundus on Yaxley and Stupefy on Umbridge.
He runs to Mary Cattermole, who, seeing the feared Runcorn helping her, accuses him of submitting her name for questioning, a horrifying reminder of the evil persona he's inhabiting.
While Harry struggles to free her, Hermione, with stunning presence of mind, casts Geminio on the locket Umbridge was wearing.
To create a decoy. It ensures Umbridge will be distracted if she wakes up. It's brilliant.
Harry frees Mary Cattermole, giving her this urgent practical order. Go home, grab your children, and get out. Get out of the country if you've got to.
Then he casts a powerful stag Patronus, this massive silver force that drives back the Dementors, scattering them. He tells the remaining Muggleborns it's the new official position to flee the country, giving them hope and cover.
They find Ron, who has somehow fixed the rain, and is talking to Mr. Weasley, who still sees Harry as Runcorn. They rush to the fireplace to escape.
But the final escape is marred by a catastrophic error. As they flee, Yaxley reappears and lunges for Hermione.
She forces him off with a revulsion jinx, just as they disapparate. But she realizes her mistake instantly. Yaxley was touching her when she initiated the Fidelius Charms protection.
And the implication is devastating. Yaxley is now a secret keeper. He can bring other Death Eaters into Grimmauld Place. Their one safe haven is instantly and permanently lost.
That catastrophic loss forces them into immediate life on the run. They're constantly camping in the wilderness. Ron's recovering from his injury, and Harry notices the locket Horcrux feels cold against his chest.
Sometimes it seems to be ticking. It's this constant physical menace exerting pressure on them.
And this is where the psychological warfare of the Horcrux really takes hold. When Ron wears it, the hunger and despair make him downright unpleasant. His natural insecurities are just magnified tenfold.
Food scarcity becomes this immediate source of tension. They realize that a full stomach meant good spirits, an empty one, bickering and gloom.
Hermione maintains her composure. She forces herself to be the pillar of stability, while Ron becomes irritable and unreasonable, completely susceptible to the locket's dark influence.
Harry's scar flares, giving him these involuntary visions of Voldemort torturing the wand maker, Grigorovich.
And the vision reveals Voldemort is searching for a thief who stole from Grigorovich years ago, a young man with golden hair who jumped out of a window with a crow of laughter.
Harry hides these visions from Ron and Hermione, who are getting impatient, hoping only for news of their families or other Horcruxes.
And Harry begins to internalize their disappointment, which fuels his own insecurity. We thought Dumbledore had told you what to do. This lack of a clear directive is just grinding them all down.
And the tension explodes. Ron, wearing the locket, lashes out. He accuses Harry and Hermione of lacking direction. He criticizes Hermione's magical ability. This isn't just irritability, it's the Horcrux weaponizing his deepest, most painful insecurities.
Harry intervenes, hearing voices outside. They discover Ted Tonks, Dean Thomas, Griphook the Goblin, and others, all on the run.
They overhear critical news. Dirk reveals that some kids tried to steal Gryffindor's sword from Snape's office at Hogwarts, confirming the resistance is active inside the castle.
And Hermione uses the portrait of Phineas Nigellus Black to confirm Snape had indeed swapped the sword, presumably on Dumbledore's orders.
But this truth comes too late for Ron. He turns stony, ignoring Hermione. He lashes out, accusing Harry of not caring about his sister, Ginny. He confirms he suspects Hermione is also disappointed in Harry's lack of a clear plan.
Harry gives him that fatal challenge. Go home then.
And Ron screams, "Yeah, maybe I will," and disapparates in a fury, leaving Harry and Hermione alone on a windswept hillside.
Hermione is grief-stricken, just sobbing uncontrollably. Harry wrestles with this crushing inadequacy that Ron's words just confirmed. He feels the failure of his leadership, of Dumbledore's planning.
Hermione, desperate for a plan, connects Godric Gryffindor to Godric's Hollow, suggesting Dumbledore expected Harry to make this exact connection.
But Harry's motivation is intensely personal. He's excited to visit the village where he had a family, the life that was violently stolen from him.
They arrive at Godric's Hollow on Christmas Eve, cloaked. In the churchyard, they find the Dumbledore tomb with the inscription, "Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
Harry, frustrated by the vague aphorism, wants to keep looking for his parents' graves.
Hermione finds a crucial piece of lore, an old tombstone marked Ignotus, with that triangular eye symbol, Grindelwald's sign. This links the ancient mystery of the Hallows directly to Dumbledore's dark past.
They find the Potter house, ruined, ivy-covered. Harry's touch on the gate causes a sign to rise from the ground in golden letters, marking the spot where Lily and James died and Harry survived.
And Harry spots a subtle movement, an eddy of dislodged snow by the bushes, a watcher.
It turns out to be Bathilda Bagshot, Dumbledore's old neighbor. They cautiously follow her into her small, dark, foul-smelling home.
And the trap springs instantly. Harry's scar prickles violently. He gets a flash of Voldemort's command. "Hold him!"
Bathilda transforms into Nagini, Voldemort's massive snake. It strikes Harry's forearm, knocking his wand away.
He fights the snake, falling onto a dressing table, and he's forced to relive Voldemort's attack on his parents. He hears Lily begging, "Not Harry, please no, take me, kill me instead."
And he experiences Voldemort's cold, calculated decision to finish them all. It's a profound violation. He's forced to experience the final moments of his parents' lives.
Hermione uses a blasting curse, and they disapparate just in time. Harry is severely ill for hours.
And Hermione confesses the blasting curse rebounded and shattered Harry's Holly and Phoenix wand. Reparo fails. The wand is nearly severed in two, a devastating loss of his unique magical identity.
In the aftermath of that attack, Hermione gives Harry Rita Skeeter's book, The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore, and the source confirms Skeeter's informant was Bathilda Bagshot.
The book reveals the dark truth of Dumbledore's youth. Albus and Grindelwald bonded one summer over their shared vision of wizard supremacy, arguing Muggles should be forced into subservience.
Harry is furious. He realizes Dumbledore, at their age, was plotting the very tyranny they're fighting against.
The book details the tragedy. Aberforth blamed Albus for Ariana's death, which resulted in that duel between Albus, Aberforth, and Grindelwald. Ariana, unstable, was killed by a stray curse. Harry has to accept Dumbledore wasn't just flawed, but was complicit in his sister's death, and a former advocate of extreme ideology.
2 nights after the attack, Harry is on watch, freezing. A silver doe Patronus appears. It moves silently, unlike any Patronus he's ever seen.
It leads him to a frozen forest pool where Godric Gryffindor's sword is resting at the bottom.
Harry dives into the freezing water, and the Horcrux locket chain instantly tightens around his neck, determined to strangle him and save itself. He is drowning.
And suddenly Ron appears, seemingly out of nowhere. He dives in and uses the sword to stab the locket.
The locket screamed, this piercing, horrifying sound before falling to pieces. Ron's arrival is the literal salvation of Harry's life.
Ron explains his return. The Deluminator, Dumbledore's gift, showed him Harry and Hermione's voices and guided him back. He insists he didn't cast the Patronus.
Which confirms the Deluminator was a calculated magical mechanism for reconciliation, anticipating Ron's exact moment of regret.
Hermione, emerging from the tent, just unleashes weeks of suppressed grief and fury on Ron, attacking him physically.
Harry has to use a shield charm to stop her. The raw emotional outpouring is a powerful release of all the tension they've been under.
The reconciliation only begins after she realizes the locket is destroyed. Ron gives Harry a spare wand he stole from a snatcher.
Needing answers about the Hallows, they visit Xenophilius Lovegood, who is just anxious and distraught.
Xenophilius explains the Deathly Hallows, the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak. He confirms the true Master of Death unites all three.
They argue over which is best. Harry chooses the stone for family, Ron the wand for power, and Hermione the cloak for safety.
But Xenophilius is terrified. He's trying to summon Death Eaters to trade Harry for his kidnapped daughter Luna. He tries to stun Harry, but hits an erupant horn.
A colossal explosion destroys half the house. Death Eaters arrive.
Hermione whispers to Harry why she wanted him visible before they escaped, to prove Xenophilius was telling the truth to the Ministry, giving Luna a better chance of release. They flee, knowing Xenophilius betrayed them out of desperation.
The trio is captured by Snatchers, led by Fenrir Greyback in the woods. Harry lies, claiming to be Barney Weasley.
His face is massively distorted by Hermione's blasting curse from Godric's Hollow, which, ironically, saves his life by obscuring his identity at first.
But Greyback finds a picture of Hermione Granger from the Ministry's propaganda and realizes she's traveling with Potter.
Harry is forced into disapparition by Greyback, experiencing searing pain in his scar and momentarily slipping into Voldemort's mind. Voldemort is still focused on Gregorovitch, hunting the Elder Wand.
And they land at Malfoy Manor, right in the heart of the enemy's stronghold.
The arrival is terrifying, yet Harry feels this brief, calculated relief that Voldemort isn't physically there. He knows the Dark Lord is still focused on the Elder Wand hunt.
Narcissa Malfoy's cold voice greets the Snatchers, followed by Lucius's dreadfully familiar drawl.
Draco Malfoy is summoned to identify Harry. Harry sees his own reflection. Huge, pink, distorted. He resolves not to speak.
And Draco approaches, his face full of reluctance, even fear. He lies. He says, "I don't know."
This is a crucial, silent refusal to condemn Harry. It's driven by Draco's fear of making a mistake and maybe the beginnings of some kind of moral compromise within him.
Lucius wants to summon Voldemort immediately, but Narcissa cautions him. Remember what he did to Ral and Dolohov.
It emphasizes the swift, extreme punishment Voldemort deals out for mistakes. It showcases the constant state of terror the Malfoys live under.
Bellatrix Lestrange arrives, shrieking, "Potter!" She sees the sword of Gryffindor that Griphook is carrying and just becomes maniacal, fearing it was stolen from her Gringotts vault.
This fear overrides all common sense and strategy. She orders the prisoners into the cellar, overriding Lucius's protests, asserting her authority because of the danger the sword represents.
In the dark cellar, Harry, Ron, and Hermione find Luna Lovegood, Dean Thomas, and Ollivander.
Luna, always practical, helps them find an old nail to cut their ropes.
And then, the horrifying moment, Hermione's screams begin from above as Bellatrix tortures her, demanding to know what else they took from her vault.
Ron bellows her name in agony, helplessly writhing against the ropes. It's a profound moment of feeling helpless in the face of the trauma being inflicted on the woman he loves.
Harry finds the mirror fragment from Sirius, and a gleam of brightest blue appears. Dobby arrives, trembling. "Dobby has come to rescue you."
Harry, prioritizing the other's safety, orders Dobby to take Luna, Dean, and Ollivander to Shell Cottage.
Upstairs, Bellatrix realizes the sword is a copy. Hermione confirms this under torture. Lucius sends Draco to fetch Griphook to confirm its authenticity.
Harry reminds Pettigrew, who entered the cellar, "You owe me, Wormtail." And the silver hand, given by Voldemort, hesitates. A split-second moment of mercy and regret.
Pettigrew is horrified by his own weakness and struggles harder. The silver hand, sensing his betrayal of the Dark Lord who gave it to him, tightens around his throat.
He turns blue, twitches, and dies, paying the life debt demanded by dark magic. Even in death, he can't escape the consequences.
Harry and Ron run upstairs. Harry disarms Bellatrix, seizing her wand. Ron takes Lucius's wand. Harry uses Bellatrix's wand against her and Narcissa, stunning them both. Harry
Harry yells for Dobby, who appears. He grabs Griphook and Dobby's hand, spinning to disapparate, but a final, violent flash of blue light.
Bellatrix's knife. It flies across the room right at the point of their vanishing.
They crash land at Shell Cottage. Harry realizes Dobby is staggering. Bellatrix's knife is lodged in his chest.
Dobby is happy to be with his friend Harry Potter, the little elf says before dying.
Harry is consumed by grief. He removes the knife and covers Dobby with his own jacket, refusing to use magic to dig the grave.
This act of digging by hand, using physical labor, is Harry rejecting the ease of magic to honor the immense sacrifice of his friend. Luna delivers a simple, perfect eulogy, praising his bravery. Harry, now armed with this ruthless clarity born from Dobby's death, resolves to talk to Ollivander and Griphook immediately. The voice he uses is one of purposeful authority.
Ollivander explains a core piece of wand lore. A wand's loyalty changes if it's won from its previous owner. It responds to defeat, not death. He notes Bellatrix's wand might now be loyal to Harry.
A massive tactical advantage and a huge clue about the Elder Wand.
Griphook the Goblin insists wizarding history lies about the true ownership of goblin-made objects. He demands Godric Gryffindor's sword in exchange for helping them break into Gringotts to steal the Horcrux cup.
Harry agrees to the deal, though Hermione disapproves, worried about trusting him. Bill Weasley warns Harry that goblins value artifacts profoundly differently than wizards, urging extreme caution.
Harry uses Ollivander's knowledge to deduce that Voldemort sought the Elder Wand, having taken it from Dumbledore's graves. He connects the Hallows to his own life. The invisibility cloak, owned by his ancestor Ignotus, was in Dumbledore's possession when his parents died.
Hermione remains skeptical. She argues that Dumbledore would have told them if the Hallows were real. This debate reflects the ultimate tension of the story, pursuing a logical Horcrux hunt versus chasing a mythical object of immense power.
A moment of pure joy interrupts the plotting. Lupin returns, crying out the secret keeper information. He's overjoyed. Tonks gave birth to a boy named Ted, the world's smallest, newest hope born amidst the chaos.
The Gringotts heist begins, and it demands radical tactics. Hermione uses Polyjuice Potion to become Bellatrix Lestrange, channeling her arrogant persona.
Harry uses the invisibility cloak with group hook on his shoulders, and Ron is disguised as a foreign wizard.
Immediate danger. Tratters, a Death Eater, intercepts them and notes Bellatrix is out of the house, implying the Malfoys are confined. Hermione, using Bellatrix's contempt, dismisses Travers.
Inside Gringotts, the goblins demand identification. Harry is forced to cast the Imperious Curse on Travers and Bogrod, the counter-goblin. He realizes he has to mean them for the curse to be strong, feeling that cold determination needed to strip away free will.
They ride down past the blind dragon guarding the deep chambers. Bogrod presses his palm to the vault door, which melts away, revealing mountains of glittering treasure.
But the vault is protected by a powerful defense, the Juminio Curse. Anything touched duplicates and burns with searing heat.
Harry spots the Hufflepuff cup. Griphook, seizing his moment, grabs the sword of Gryffindor and abandons them, believing they would never keep their word.
Harry dives and catches the cup, scalding his hand as the contents explode outward. The escape is desperate. Harry, Ron, and Hermione climb onto the dragon's back.
The dragon, now free, roars and blasts its way out of the tunnel, carrying them high into the air above London.
While airborne, Harry sees Voldemort's mind. He's in a ruined shack, furious that the Hufflepuff cup is missing, realizing Harry is succeeding. He instantly worries about the remaining Horcruxes and decides he's heading to check the locket at the cave before rushing to Hogwarts.
Harry's determination is now absolute. They have to get to Hogwarts immediately before Voldemort can move the final Horcrux, the diadem.
They land near the Hogshead Inn, where the barman saves them from Death Eaters. Harry recognizes the blue eye in the mirror fragment. It's Aberforth Dumbledore.
Aberforth is bitter, cynical. He tells Harry that Dumbledore was profoundly dishonest, revealing the full, agonizing tragedy of Ariana's death, her instability, her secret confinement, and the resulting duel that ended her life.
Aberforth believes Albus was never free after Ariana's death. Harry asserts that Albus was never free, citing the memory of Dumbledore drinking the protection potion, acknowledging Albus's inner torment and his sacrifice.
Aberforth opens the portrait of Ariana, revealing a secret tunnel into the Room of Requirement at Hogwarts, allowing them entry into the besieged castle.
Neville Longbottom emerges from the passage, grinning fiercely. He's been leading a rebel force inside Hogwarts. He confirms the Carrows are in charge, but the DA resistance is fierce.
And he confirms his grandmother was targeted, but fought off Dawlish and is now on the run.
Harry's scar scorches again. Voldemort has realized the locket is gone, causing the room to swim. Harry reveals the mission to the gathered students. They're looking for Ravenclaw's lost diadem.
Harry and Luna enter Ravenclaw Tower. Electo Carrow is stunned. Harry is forced to dive into Voldemort's mind again. Voldemort is heading to the cave first, buying them mere moments.
Professor McGonagall confronts Amicus Carrow, who spits in her face. Harry, furious at the disrespect, blasts Amicus with an unforgivable curse.
McGonagall is shocked but grateful, calling him gallant. She realizes Voldemort is coming.
Snape and McGonagall duel, joined by Flitwick, Sprout, and Slughorn. Snape deflects a ring of fire that turns into a snake, which McGonagall transforms into daggers, but Snape flies away. It confirms his role as an escape artist, not a coward.
McGonagall orders the castle barricaded, students evacuated, but insists Harry must continue his search, confirming Dumbledore's overriding orders.
Harry realizes he needs the ghost of Ravenclaw. Nearly headless Nick guides him to the Grey Lady, Helena Ravenclaw.
Helena tearfully admits she stole her mother's diadem centuries ago, seeking to be wiser, and ran away. The Bloody Baron killed her in a rage.
But here's the crucial twist. Helena reveals Voldemort asked her about the diadem's location, a hollow tree in Albania, when he was a student.
And Harry has the revelation. Voldemort must have hidden it in the castle the night he asked Dumbledore for a job. The diadem had been put in the Room of Requirement in a pile of junk, disguised by magic.
Harry returns to the Room of Requirement. Ron and Hermione arrive, revealing they went to the Chamber of Secrets. Ron used his imitation of Parseltongue, learned from Harry opening the locket, to get in.
They return with giant, curved basilisk fangs, the ideal tool for Horcrux destruction.
And Hermione, overwhelmed by Ron's brilliance and bravery, flings herself at him and kisses him passionately.
And Harry calls them out, "Oi! There's a war going on here." A perfectly timed moment of emotional release before the final battle.
The final Horcrux's destruction is immediate. Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle are waiting. Crabbe casts an Avada Kedavra curse. Harry spots the diadem just as Crabbe conjures Fiend Fire, a massive, roaring, sentient fire curse.
They escape, pulling Malfoy and Goyle out on brooms, but Crabbe is consumed by his own fire. The diadem is destroyed.
Harry sees Voldemort's mind, the furious realization that the cup and locket are gone, and then the devastation is absolute. He hears the news that Fred Weasley is dead and collapses in the corridor.
The loss of the Weasley twin, the eternal source of levity, is the physical manifestation of the war's cost.
Voldemort retreats to the Shrieking Shack, keeping Nagini, the final Horcrux, in a protected sphere. Harry watches, invisible. Voldemort believes the Elder Wand cannot serve him because Snape, who killed Dumbledore, is its master.
Voldemort commands Nagini to kill Snape, and Snape's last act is profound. He gives Harry a crystal flask containing his final memories.
Harry watches Snape's true story. His childhood connection with Lily, his devotion, his grief when she's sorted into Gryffindor, his humiliation, and the unforgivable insult, mudblood, that drove her away.
Snape's agonizing plea to Dumbledore after Lily's death. Always.
And then, the ultimate revelation. Snape was acting on Dumbledore's orders. Dumbledore was dying from the curse on Marvolo Gaunt's ring, and he demanded Snape kill him at the right moment to spare Draco and protect Snape as a double agent.
And the shocking final instruction, Harry must die. Dumbledore explains Harry is the seventh Horcrux, made accidentally, and must face Voldemort willingly, allowing himself to be killed.
It's the ultimate ethical betrayal, raising him like a pig for slaughter. You have to sit with the immense moral weight of Dumbledore's cold calculation, even if it was for the greater good.
Harry, just devastated by the loss of Fred and the knowledge that he must die, walks alone toward the forest, ignoring the mourning in the Great Hall.
He opens the snitch. The words, "I open at the close," reveal the resurrection stone inside. He calls forth the spirits of James, Lily, Sirius, and Lupin.
And Lily assures him he will not be alone. They walk beside him, giving him the immense final strength he needs for acceptance.
He removes the invisibility cloak and steps forward. Voldemort is initially confused. I was, it seems, mistaken.
And Harry confirms the horrific truth. You weren't.
Voldemort orders Narcissa Malfoy to check if Harry is dead. Narcissa, noticing he's alive, whispers, "Is Draco alive? Is he in the castle?"
Harry replies, "Yes." This is the pivotal moment. Narcissa, prioritizing her son's safety above all political allegiance, shouts to the Watchers, "He is dead."
That single desperate lie changes the course of history.
Voldemort believes her and takes Harry's body back to the castle, wearing Nagini around his shoulders. At the castle gate, he proclaims victory, silencing the defenders.
Neville Longbottom breaks free. He confronts Voldemort, who tries to force the Sorting Hat on him and sets him on fire. Then, chaos erupts.
Molly Weasley steps forward to defend Ginny, dueling Bellatrix with the fury born of maternal protection, and kills her with a curse that hits her squarely in the chest.
Harry reveals himself with a shield charm, ripping off the cloak and facing Voldemort. The final duel begins, but Harry uses logic, not just power.
He explains everything. He knew he was the Horcrux and allowed himself to be killed, removing that piece of Voldemort's soul. Voldemort is on borrowed time, and crucially reveals the Elder Wand cannot serve Voldemort because Snape was not its master.
The technical mechanics here are vital. Dumbledore intended for Snape to kill him, but the wand's allegiance transfers by defeat, not simply death. Draco Malfoy disarmed Dumbledore, winning the wand's allegiance.
And here's the ultimate twist. The true master of the Elder Wand is Harry, who disarmed Draco at Malfoy Manor. He won the wand's allegiance without ever touching it.
Voldemort casts the killing curse. Harry casts Expelliarmus. The Elder Wand flies to Harry and Voldemort falls, dying silently, unceremoniously. The most powerful dark wizard in history dies to a simple disarming charm.
Kingsley Shacklebolt is named temporary Minister of Magic. Harry, exhausted, makes his final decision. He tells Ron and Hermione he's putting the Elder Wand back in Dumbledore's tomb.
If he dies a natural death, the wand's power will be broken forever.
Ron expresses a faint longing for that power, but Hermione agrees with Harry. That wand's more trouble than it's worth. Harry actively chooses to break the cycle of violence, rejecting the ultimate temptation.
19 years later, we witness the hard-won peace. Harry and Ginny, Ron and Hermione, are seeing their children off at Platform 9 and 34.
And Ron, ever the chaotic element, admits he confunded the Muggle driving instructor to pass his test.
The legacy continues. Albus expresses fear of being sorted into Slytherin. Harry assures him his name carries the legacy of two headmasters, Albus and Severus, confirming his acceptance of Snape's complicated, painful redemption.
And they are all seen standing together. At the age of 37, his scar had not pained Harry for 19 years. He's finally at rest.
What an immense chronicle of sacrifice, of betrayal, hidden allegiance, and flawed heroism. We have seen how personal failures led to world-altering tragedy, and how acceptance led to salvation.
What really resonates is that moment in the woods when Harry, facing death, found his greatest strength not in magical power, but in acceptance. The true master of death, as Dumbledore suggested, is the one who accepts the necessity of dying.
And you have to consider the final, quiet decisions. Ron choosing reconciliation over resentment, Hermione choosing wisdom over glory, and Harry choosing to break the cycle of violence by burying the world's most powerful wand. They built peace through deliberate humility.
So what does this all mean for you? It means that sometimes the hardest truths are found in the most intimate moments, in a friend's sacrifice, a simple lie whispered under duress, or the painful choice to do the right thing, even when it costs you everything you thought you knew about your heroes.
We'll leave you with this provocative thought. If you learn that your greatest protector was forced to ask for his own murder, and that your survival ultimately depended on your own willing demise, would you possess the clarity to seek truth over revenge?